Happy May! Welcome, this is Yoga with Come Follow Me. Today we are going over Mosiah 11 through 13. So come into hero pose. We are sitting on our heels and come to our breath. So inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, you're going to plant the left palm to the ground. Inhale the right arm up and over. Just create a nice side body stretch. Gaze up. Take a couple breaths. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back down, plant the right palm down, inhale, left arm up and over, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale and exhale, bring it down. Go ahead and take some arm stretches. Maybe turn your neck and exhale to center, inhale other arm. From here, we are going to spread our knees a little bit wider than our hips and forward fold. Just come into a child's pose. Lead with the chest. Your forehead comes down very last. Your arms are outstretched in front of you. On your next inhale, just really reach those fingertips forward as much as you can. You should feel that in your shoulders, in your spine. And exhale, bring it back. Bring your hands back down. We're going to come into all fours and do some cat and cows. So inhale, inhale, chin up, gaze up. Exhale, arch the back, chin to your chest, engage that core, bring it out. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Just keep going with your own breath. We started out last time, or we ended last time with King Noah taking reign, right? Zeniff died, and King Noah takes his place and leads these people from the time that he took this place. He begins to lead these Nephites, these righteous people led by all these beautiful kings and righteous kings into these hands of Noah, and leads him down this path of complete wickedness and just so much excess, which we'll talk about. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Your spine should be getting pretty nice and warm. And exhale. On your inhale, come to a nice neutral spine, flattening the back. Inhale here and exhale, curl over the toes, lift the hips really high, engage that core, come into downward facing dog. The weight in your hands should be in that triangle with your thumb and first finger. And if you need to bend some knees here, you're more than welcome to. Eventually, we want to bring those heels down to the ground and really stretch and lengthen through that spine, engaging that core, protecting the back. So they're being led through this path, and then it says that they are basically blind people to this. They don't understand or don't recognize where they're headed. And King Noah, in verse 8 through 12, he builds all of these buildings in this city of just excess everything. On your inhale, lift the right leg to the back wall. Just come into a three-legged dog. From here, I'm going to let you gauge where you are. So you can come here, flex the foot. The heel is pointing towards the back wall. Or you can stack your hips and point or flex that foot. You can bring it all the way up. Just really stretch that leg. I did a good leg workout this morning, so stretching that leg a lot. Feels really, really good. Inhale here and exhale. That knee through both of your hands. Land that foot between both of your hands. Keep that back heel up and inhale, come up to a high lunge. Bring your fingertips all the way up to the sky, engaging that core, gazing up past your fingertips. If it's too much on your neck, you can also gaze forward. Verse 8, he builds many elegant and spacious buildings, ornamented with fine work of wood and precious things of gold, silver, iron and brass, and of copper, and of Zeniff, and gold and silver and precious things, these thrones and seats. And then in verse 12, he builds a tower near the temple, a super high tower, so that he could look over the whole city. It's just so much excess, so much riches and fine things, right? That these people are paying for, and that's how blind they are. They're just paying for these things that the king is building for himself without even blinking an eye, really. They're just so engulfed into King Noah. Inhale here, and on your exhale, we're gonna turn or pivot our back foot so our heel goes down to the mat at about a 45-degree angle. Bring those arms down and out, reaching on both arms, warrior two. Find strength in both of your legs equally. There is a lot of heat in this one. There's also a lot of strength in this back leg. So feel that. When I read that, I thought to myself, how many things do we have that are of riches for no real reason? Maybe not a benefit in our life, or just add some clutter to our house that don't add a whole lot of value. Inhale here and exhale, bring both of your palms to the inside of that right leg. We're just gonna come down into lizard pose. Lifting that back heel, just come down right here. If this feels good, stay here. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, come down to your forearms. This really, really opens the hips. So then the Lamanites start showing up again, and they come in small numbers, and they come up to the walls of the city and start fighting them. And these people of Noah, I have a hard time calling them Nephites because they've strayed so far. But these people of King Noah fight back. They get all their weapons, they start fighting them back, and they lure them away. So they're successful, and they gain so much pride from this. They all of a sudden start thinking, we are so strong, we can beat anybody. We are doing exactly what we need to be doing because we're winning, right? And before they had that same mindset, but it was because of God. Okay, bring both hands around that foot. Inhale here and exhale, lifting that front leg. Just come back into downward dog. Engage that core. Take a couple breaths here. Then in verse 20, it came to pass, there was a man among them whose name was Abinidi, and he went forth among them and began to prophesy, saying, Thus saith the Lord, and thus he hath commanded me, Go forth, and say unto the people, that woe be unto you. I've seen your abominations, your wickedness, and your whoredoms, and unless you repent, you shall be brought into bondage, and be afflicted by the hand of your own enemy. Okay, inhale that left leg. Do whatever you did on the last side, the right side. So you're here with your foot flexed, or you can point or flex your foot and stack those hips, bringing that leg all the way up, opening those hips even more. So Abinidi is saying, you guys, you've got to pay attention. God is talking to me and saying that we are not being righteous anymore. We've come so far, we've strayed so far. God is going to deliver us into the hands of our enemies if we don't straighten up. Okay, exhale, bring that knee to your nose. Engage that core. Keeping that back heel up. Inhale, high lunge. Gaze up or gaze forward. And the people that hear him are saying, Who are you and how dare you come? We don't want to listen to what you have to say. That's not true. We love King Noah. These are false preachings. So then King Noah finds out, and he's like, How dare you come and start preaching against my word? I'm the king. I have all the power and authority. You should not be doing this. And all the people and the king are all saying, We will not repent. Did you see that we just won that battle with the Lamanites coming to our walls? Like, We are winning and we're strong and we're a prideful people. On your inhale, lower that back heel down to the ground. Arms out, bending that front leg at about a 90-degree angle, gazing past those left fingertips. So Abinidi comes back 2 years later. It says that he's disguised, but apparently not disguised very well, because the first thing King Noah says to him is, Abinidi, why are you here again? But also, I'm sure King Noah did not forget about this whole thing. I'm sure he didn't forget about Abinidi's speeches 2 years ago, right? In the past. So he was probably like, oh, I remember this. This sounds very familiar, and we almost killed him last time, so this must be Abinidi, disguise or not. He's talking about God, and nobody else is talking about God, so it's got to be the same person. Okay, inhale here, and exhale. Bring both of your hands to the inside of that leg. Lift the back heel. You can come here, engage that core, protect that lower back, or you can come down onto your forearms. And again, Abinidi is saying, you guys, you're wicked, repent, or you will be in bondage or destroyed. And so all the people of King Noah say, we're going to take you to the king. And again, King Noah, the first thing he says is, Abinidi, why are you coming back? And he says to his people, kill him. In my scriptures, I highlighted how people dismiss a prophet, because all of chapter 12 is basically the people saying, no, you are false, and this is why. And this is not true, and this is why. So in verse 13 and 14, they rationalize why what he's saying is not true. Inhale, come back up onto your palms. Bring your palms on each side of the foot. And exhale, lifting that left leg. Engage that core. And exhale, come into downward dog. Take some breaths. So they rationalize in 13 and 14. In verse 15, they judge him. In verse 20 through 24, they pull the scriptures from his grasp. In verse 28, we teach the law of Moses. They're like bringing in that, hey, this old prophet that we actually live by, which they don't even live by them, but they're trying to justify the fact that they live by an old prophet, and that is better than a modern prophet or Abinidi. And then in chapter 13, verse 1, they try to attack the messenger. Okay, inhale, come up to a high plank. Take a couple breaths. Inhale and exhale. Just really feel that core. Inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, just come into a seated position. Let's actually come into a child's pose, like we did at the beginning. Sitting our hips back onto our heels, reaching those fingertips outstretched in front of you. Feel that spine, lengthen the spine. Forehead down to your mat. And breathe. And then in chapter 13, Noah is saying kill him. Or at least put him in jail. Let's put him in jail and we'll kind of question him, see what he's even talking about. Give him the time of day for a minute or so. They think that that's what they're doing for him. And so they throw him in jail, and Abinidi is like, you can't touch my testimony, you can't touch my spirit. I am with God, and I fully believe in the fact that God is with me. And then he starts telling them, like, hey, let me actually kind of educate you on God and on these 10 commandments and why God is seeing so much wickedness. So a lot of 13 is the 10 commandments. And I think it's really interesting that before this, like I mentioned in chapter 12, verse 28, he said, and they said, we teach the law of Moses. So then in 13, he goes into these 10 commandments that are so connected with Moses, right? That really resonated with me, because that's such a testimony of how Abinidi is just trying so hard to match them where they are and take them on this journey with him. He's not saying, I'm right, you're wrong, I can be new king, like I want all the riches. He's coming from such a place of humility into a conversation of, okay, you guys mentioned Moses, let me mention Moses. We're on the same playing field. Like, come meet me and I will meet you. We can talk about this together. My husband and I have been in so many leadership positions. We own a lot of businesses. We've learned a lot through the process. And One thing that we've learned a lot is match, latch, and lead. With this concept, it's a leadership conversation skill where somebody is saying something to you where they are either pushing against something or explaining to you something that they're dealing with, a problem, or something that they're having a hard time with. Problem or not, you can do it with any conversation, but you match where they are. You step into their shoes for a moment and say, okay, I can see where you're coming from. I can see what you're seeing. And then you latch that. Yes, I've felt that way, or I've been through that, or yeah, I can't even imagine. Like, just come to where they are coming from, right? And then you get to lead them from there. But you lead them in such a way that they feel heard, they feel understood, they feel like they're known, like somebody understands where they're coming from. And so it just dawned on me when I read that. They mentioned Moses before Abinidi even did. And so then that's when Abinidi comes in with, hey, you talked about Moses, let me teach you more about Moses. Let me teach you these 10 commandments that you guys are obviously not living by, but you say you're living the law of Moses. And this is the law of Moses. So I love that. And then in verse 32, and now, did they understand the law? No. Because of their hardness of their hearts, and they did not understand that man can be saved. So they just didn't get it, which would be so frustrating as Abinidi, right? I mean, now he's captive, and these people just in one ear and out the other. It's like parenting in so many ways. As you go about your day, just try it. With your kids, with people you come in contact with, match, latch, and lead. Genuinely step into their shoes. The light in me honors and loves the light within you. Namaste.